Awesome. Greetings, Rebel Riders. Hello and happy Tuesday. It is a beautiful day here in the Midwest and apparently a very beautiful day out in California as well, Northern California. We are here today to talk about another amazing Rebel Rider in action, or not about. We're going to talk to you, not just about you.
Good. I hate being talked about behind my
Right, I
back.
know. That doesn't feel good. So let us know if you're here. Say hello in the comments if you're watching the replay. Certainly add that hashtag replay and let us know what is hitting you in the moment, hopefully gently. And I'm just so excited today. So let me introduce my guest real quick, and I will let you know some exciting things that are happening. But the Rebel Writers in Action is this new series that we've started, and we're talking to all of our Rebel Writers here in our community who are really doing the writing work as a way to share their message with the world. There are so many of you here who are healers and coaches, creatives, visionaries of all kinds. And all that work entails writing in some way or another, right? Our words are our message. And so I am just so excited to be highlighting so many of you doing this work because we can learn so much from each other and this community. So welcome back for our second edition of the series. Here today, we have Phoebe Fazio, who is an award-winning speaker, a #1 international best-selling author, a summit host, an intuitive business coach, and she trains hands-on healers and channelers to use their voice to grow their businesses by attracting their ideal clients, especially during these very challenging times, so they can have a thriving, profitable, and sustainable healing practice while helping more people. A woman after my own heart, you are, Phoebe. Phoebe has developed an amazing 7-step system to grow your business in her Channel Your Business program that gives you the exact steps for you to take in alignment with who you are, your divine gifts, and your zone of genius so you can live the life you truly desire and fully deserve, all while helping, the millions of people that we all want to help, because that's
Yes.
why we do this work.
Yes.
So welcome, Phoebe. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm thrilled to be here with you, Renee. Thanks for inviting me.
You're so welcome. And you have just launched a co-authored book called Soul Biz,
Yeah.
which that right there just spoke to me. Right,
Two words
right
that
off
don't
the
always
bat.
seem like they go together, right?
Right. I know. I sold in my business, and in my former life, that maybe did not. That's why I ran from cubicle world, because it was
Right.
killing my soul. But here
Right.
you are, one of the amazing authors who have contributed to this book, Soul Biz: Practical Tips and Heartfelt Wisdom for Entrepreneurs, Solopreneurs, and Creative Souls. So tell me just a little bit about how this book came to be and your place in it, and a little bit about that journey.
Yeah. Thank you for the question. So I was working on my healing business and got a bit burned out. And so I had to press the pause button. And as Abraham Hicks talks about, letting the boat just right itself and get back into the current going the right way. So I kind of rested and did a lot of meditating. And it wasn't long after just pressing that pause button and letting the boat go, like take my hands off the steering wheel, that the opportunity to write for another collaborative book came up. This book that came out. So I wrote for one before, so I was familiar with the experience. I'm like, well, that's an easy way to get back into writing. Having had that experience, and it was a good experience, I'm like, yeah, that might be the thing, because I had in the back of my head, maybe it's time to write. I've been feeling like there's a book in me
Mm,
when it's the right time, but I could do this, right? And
right.
so with my last one, I wrote 1 page, and this time I wrote 4.
Woo.
And it felt really good. And as I was making my what what writers call a capture list, just a
Hmm.
list of topics, just brainstorming my topics. I came up with like 20 just off the top of my head. And then every
Wow.
time I sat down, I just added more. There were like 40 or more by the time I was finished. And when I told that to the editor and publisher in our coaching session, I said, I have a lot of ideas that I want to write about. And he said, maybe you're ready to write your own book.
There you go. Yes.
I said, yeah, I'm feeling it. And I knew after my last collaborative book that he he also does a write your book kind of a thing, and I'm like, okay, I get a really good sense that he's the one for me
Yeah.
to support me in that. And I'm on that path. I've been working on my book since January. I've already finished the first draft.
Wow.
I'm almost done going through it, one time through. I'm on
That's
my way.
incredible.
Yeah.
First draft done in it. Well, it's July. It's almost July,
It's
right?
6 months,
Yeah, 6 months.
Actually, it was about 4 or 5 months that I had the draft done.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
But I
Well,
had
and
set that in motion, like my writing practice
right.
was the key. It was like the
Mhm.
capture list, the journal. I have a writing journal on that book. So I just open up a tab for the journal and the
Mhm.
capture list. And then I start a new document with whatever topic I'm going to write on that day. And I just go. And that's my practice. And I
Oh, that's
just kept
brilliant.
going until I was done with the capture list.
Right. Well, and I really want to speak to the simplicity of that too, Phoebe, because so many of us get bogged down. We have the big picture,
Yeah.
and it just feels so heavy.
Yeah.
And as soon as, you're just dropping in topics, and it's like,
Yep.
oh, well, just one little bite at a
Mm-hmm.
time,
Mm-hmm.
right? One little piece, and you
It's
can
like,
get
what
there.
do they say? Like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right?
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
and I picked that up from somewhere, just nothing else open,
Hmm.
just that.
Yeah.
You're not allowed. Get distracted. No checking email, no going to
Right,
Facebook, no nothing.
right, right.
Just that. And I don't set a timer. Some people use a timer.
Hmm.
I don't do a timer. I just try to show up every day. And even if it's I wrote a sentence in my journal today,
Right,
that's all I got
right.
done. And that's fine. I showed up. I did it.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. We've got
And
a couple
sometimes I wrote
folks
three,
here.
you know.
Yeah, right. We've got, I'm mindful of the chat. Hi,
Yeah.
Mandy. Hi, Misha. And Maria is here. Yeah,
Hi
Misha
guys.
was asking about what a capture list is. And the
Ah.
way I heard you describe it, because it's probably more industry related terminology, but the way I heard you describe it, it's like a list of topics of things you
Mm-hmm.
could write about.
Yeah. And I don't know yet if they're chapters or
Mm.
sections or whatever, but I just listed whatever topics were on my mind in relation to the book. So that book is about voice and vision. I'm very off topic because we're not talking about soul biz anymore. That one's called voice and vision,
That's
and
okay.
you
It's
can tell
you
that's what
can't
I'm
have your
working on.
soul biz without your vision and your voice. So,
That's right. That's right. Yeah, exactly. And the topics in soul biz, um, I'm like, did I write one about voice? Yes, I found my voice.
Mm,
Um, and these stories inside soul biz are just one pagers.
right,
So, um, everyone is about kind of advice or a
right.
story of discovery, something about related to a soul biz.
Oh, I love that. And
Yeah.
we're talking about it, so I want to make sure to get that. I'm going to get that link in the comments right
Yeah.
now.
Thank you for that. It
And I
just
love
came
it.
out on Tuesday. Very
Yeah, it's
excited.
amazing. And it sounds like, um,
Words.
doesn't sound like,
It's going to say something.
I was gonna say, yeah, like the sound bites. So,
Yes.
for busy entrepreneurs,
Yep.
to have a book that they can pick up and just kind of, have a little snack
Yeah.
of ideas and
Yeah.
inspiration,
Yeah. You don't
as
have to
they go
read a whole
through.
book about something, just, yeah, a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of aha, or like, yeah, me too. Okay, I can do this. And
Yeah.
then you're back at it, or maybe something
Yes.
you read at night or first thing in the morning or whatever.
Oh, I love
Um,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Set your business intentions for the day with a little
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
motivation.
Yeah. And I write about obstacles, you know, we all run against obstacles.
Mhm.
And one of them is about it's the five steps to navigate the I don't know.
Ah.
So how many times have you said that to yourself about your business? You're like, I
Millions.
just don't know how to do that. Or I don't know how that's going to work out. I just
Yes.
don't know.
Yes.
And rather than spending all your time learning whatever that is, because that can really be a distraction, right?
Right.
Um, we were talking about distractions before we got on. Um, and this is an invitation to stay in the I don't know,
Mm.
to move forward even in the I don't know,
Mm.
right? Because it can either stop us or it
Right.
can distract us.
Right.
But these are simple steps that probably a lot of you already do these.
Right.
Um, but just, yeah, simple steps to keep keep going. Take a little step,
Mhm.
get some
Mhm.
support.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's
we're
my
getting a
idea.
lot of, oh yeah, I don't know. It sounds like that's a very familiar one. And I love that, right? And I want to speak to something you kind of mentioned at the beginning to taking your hands off the steering wheel of the boat,
Mm-hmm.
and recalibrating. And a lot of entrepreneurs that I've spoken to, especially recently, year two into pandemic, it seemed like
Mm-hmm.
year two called for much more need for that recalibration than year one, right? First, it was like, and, pivot, pivot,
Mm-hmm.
survive. And
Mm-hmm.
then now what? And so, yeah, if I would love, because you are a healer and you do work um, in this realm as well. You're not just a healing business coach, right?
Right. Right.
So how does, what you teach and what you know, and how did that help you figure out that that was the step you needed to take? So many of us are like, oh, but I can't stop. I can't stop. I have to, if I don't do all these things,
Yeah.
then my business will just,
Yeah.
you know
Well,
so I'm curious about that, if you could speak to
yeah.
that and how that all
Yeah, that
kind
has a lot to do with trust,
of.
right? trusting trusting what you're feeling, trusting what's occurring to you, trusting our intuition.
Mm.
Um when we're feeling, and for me, I felt, um well, I don't know how much of the story to get into, but for me it was a big launch and I got married. And one of the pieces of the launch was a summit. So
You had a
like,
lot going on.
I was right where we were just describing. It's like I got to do all these things, right? And I did all the things and nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing, not a single client. I was like, okay, well, I mean, I did some things, right? I put myself out there and I started some momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I've been doing the momentum and so I just really felt that, not really like failure, because I feel like I accomplished a huge
Yeah.
feat, you
Yeah.
know.
All
But
that
it
work is huge. Yeah.
yeah, but then I'm like, okay, why is it not getting the result I think I want?
Mm.
What is the result that I did get?
Mm.
Like, what did I get from that? And I'm like, oh, I could feel the confidence level go was huge. I felt
Right.
joy. I felt excitement, exuberation. I was like, I felt so on purpose, right? I felt in
Yeah.
alignment and on purpose, and I'm doing all the things. It felt great.
Yeah.
So why the crickets? Why, why the nothing, What's up with that? And so I really needed to spend some time and ask some questions like that.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing something? Do I need to shift a bit? And rather than forcing the shift,
Yeah.
it's more of a, where do you want to take me?
Mm.
You know,
Mm-hmm. Where do you
I'm
want to
talking
take
to spirit, like, where do you want me?
it? Yep.
Because I'm
Yep.
so willing and I'm so excited to be of service.
Mm.
And I know it's important work. I know it's needed. What's going on here? You
Right.
know? And
Right.
so, and I didn't need to have like answers right now. It was more like,
Which is
well,
hard.
right. And I'm going to acknowledge that I did some really great things,
Mm.
and I'm married now, and I'm very excited about that, and just loving my life, right?
Yes.
And yet
Yes.
I felt drained.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so this is good, right? This
Yeah.
is something for my clients too, right?
Right.
We we are not in alignment if we're working and pushing and doing all the things and we're not getting the result that we're asking for.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah. Something is not
something's
quite
something
right.
something. Yeah. That's a message, right?
Right.
And so that was me just going, okay, I need to listen more.
Mm.
I've proven myself to
Yes.
myself.
Yes.
If that's what I needed to do, then I did that. I proved
Oh
myself
my
I could do the
gosh, Phoebe.
things.
You are speaking right to my heart. And probably to so many of you listening to us now. I know. I mean, it's true. And I think, one of the things you said, was if all I got out of this was, that I learned to listen and trust more, but also that you had the confidence in yourself. Like, not, self-doubt and those sorts of things never go fully away,
No,
but
no, they don't.
we certainly know how to handle them better now.
I don't know. I don't know if a day goes by that I'm not doubting. I was just saying that to Renee
Right.
before we started. I was like,
Right. But it's
I'm
not
doubting,
stopping you. But it's not stopping you.
No, it doesn't stop me.
Right.
And there's back to trust. Okay. What
Yeah.
I'm shown to do, I'll do it. I'm willing, if it's within my capacity, I will do it. And okay. You want me? Okay. I'll Oh, we're writing a book. Okay. Great. I wanted to write a book anyway.
That's
All right.
right.
Cool. And and what's come of it is, the day we launched, we became a #1 international bestseller in 9 categories in Amazon.
Wow.
Like, that's saying something.
That
right?
is.
That's a yes.
Huge. That's a big yes, right?
That's I'm listening. I did the right thing. I did the thing. It doesn't always show up in income. That's my lesson in this moment. And maybe it's a lifetime thing for me.
Right.
That our work doesn't always turn into income.
Right.
Point for point. Right.
Right.
Sometimes the income is in our life, but
right.
it didn't seem to come the way we thought it would. We don't always get to pick.
No, no, we don't. We certainly don't. Well, and that ties right back into the I don't knows. We don't know how it's going to turn out.
That's right.
Don't.
And it's a powerful place to stand in. I don't know. And it's okay if I don't know.
Totally.
What do I know? Oprah's got a whole book about that.
Right.
This I know, right? I know that I am human, that I am having a spiritual I'm a spiritual being having a human existence. I'm on earth.
Right.
I'm safe. I have what I
Mm,
need.
mm,
I have everything I need in this moment.
mm,
I'm okay. I'm breathing. I'm safe. I'm alive. I'm here.
yes.
And I'm willing. I'm showing up. I know stuff.
You do. I know things.
I know things. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thrilled to share the things that I've learned. And if that
Yes.
helps you, then
Yeah.
that makes me happy too.
Beautiful thing. Right. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful, beautiful thing. And, and these words are going to be helpful to so many people. And I know we're here today to mostly talk about Solbe's book, but the fact that I now know that you have your own manuscript, um, and you have your
What
own
did I
book
just get myself into?
that's going to be out in the world, sooner than later. That just means that you get to come back and talk about
Oh,
that one too.
please.
Because,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, I
And
mean,
I
it's
will
a big
say,
process. Yeah.
my speaking about my work has gotten so much easier since writing it down. And
Wow. That's
that, yeah, like, I mean, I've watched you. We know each other, and I've read your stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you're a verbal processor by writing,
yeah,
right? And some people have to speak it out.
right.
Um, and I think I was interviewing somebody, I forget where I heard this, but they were like, you can talk and have it written out. Like,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're not a writer, so to speak, you can
Right. We have
say the
tools.
words and get it written. Like, it doesn't have to be
It's
you pen to paper writing.
right. Right. It's true. Well, and one of the reasons, of course, that rebel writers exist is because there isn't a singular path to how we become writers in the world.
Yeah.
And how, and I love that. Yes, the dictation. There are so many people who've been talking about that. Thank you for the Google tools that allow us to.
Yes.
It
Thank
was
you.
not an official endorsement. If Google wants to send me some
I
dollars
mean,
for that.
Word has it too
Right.
now.
Word has it
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
And you can get some dictation
you can.
special apps.
You can use the Zoom. It has its own.
Does it really?
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
that's awesome.
transcribe it. Yeah, if you turn on the closed captioning, it'll give you a transcription.
There you go. There
Yeah,
you go.
so many opportunities to get those words out. And what you said is very true. I am definitely a verbal processor, and sometimes I don't even understand what's going on in my life, in my world, until I write it down, and then I'm like, oh. And so many of the things we do here in the group and with our free writes, and it just to get that stuff going, and then all of a sudden it's this tangible thing outside yourself that you can see
Mm-hmm.
with a totally different perspective, and it
Right.
makes so much more sense.
Yeah. And there's two things I wanted to say about that, because one is simple. I was a music teacher for a long time.
Hmm.
And in music, we talk about writing music, right? As if we write it all down.
Right.
But there are people who write music that maybe they have the words written down, but they don't have the music written down. Or maybe they do write the notes down, but not everybody does. And we still call it writing music,
It's true.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah, and then the other
Mm.
thing just went right out of my head.
It's in the trees. It's in the trees behind you.
The trees are just like, just like that.
It'll come back to you.
Yeah. Yeah. It had something to do with verbal processing or
Mm.
writing. I don't know. But
Mm.
it's just,
Nature.
well.
Nature.
That always happens on a live interview.
Well, let's close out with let's think. Because I could talk to you all day.
Oh God, yes.
There are so many things that I think that you do that are incredible. Tell us about Live Your Vision.
Yeah, live your vision, my 3-step process. Um, the key inside there is the voice expression practice.
Mm,
Um, so I have a group on Facebook called Live Your Vision. And this process is going from the voice, using your voice to align your chakras, your energy system,
mm,
using the 12 chakra system. And from there, it takes you into a really nice, deep meditation. And from there, you go into visioning. There's lots of different forms of visioning. This is the kind to be shown.
mm,
What is your highest vision?
mm,
And so we get at least a snapshot of something that leads the way, something we're aiming towards that we can focus on to keep moving forward. And now
mm.
whether we actually get to that exact thing or not, that's but it's the thing that moves us forward, that motivates us, that shows us the way
Mm.
um, to take your next step.
I love that.
And
I
so
love it.
there's a
And
video how to, there's an audio that you can take with you. I do this practice every day in the car. So, you know, have it wherever you listen to stuff,
mhm.
and then make it your own, and then take it into, and then there's a colored chart as well of the
Oh,
12
nice.
chakras.
Oh, Misha says, yes, I did this with Phoebe. It was
Yes, you did.
wonderful. Oh, I love it. Well, and doing that work, and one of the things that I am so passionate about too is that doing that meditative work, that visioning work, the alignment work, puts us in a space in which our creative process can flow, and we will write the things. It's, as writers, we have to be, just as you were saying, you got to sit in the seat and do the thing every day. You have to have that structure and that accountability, but you also have to have that alignment and the flow. And I think that the Live Your Vision, this 3-step process that you just told us about, is such a beautiful gift to everybody, but especially our rebel writers here who could use that to, when you're feeling totally disconnected and uninspired, what a great way to connect back in.
Yeah, and the voice, we talk about voice in writing
Mm.
too. So
Yep.
writing is a form of speaking, and a lot of writers are speakers also,
Mhm.
and singers, and we express ourselves in multiple ways.
Mhm.
So and when we're activating the throat chakra, we're also activating the arms. And so if
Mhm.
you're writing or typing, you're freeing that part of your physical body to move. Sometimes energy gets stuck, and so
Yeah.
it gets it going, like if you're blocked or whatever.
Mhm.
So that's one part of it. And then you're also using that vehicle to align this way,
Mhm.
aligning to your highest vision, and
Mm.
all the way down to the center of the earth, to the core
Mm.
of the earth, the crystalline core of the earth.
Yes.
So we're bringing the energy through all of that, and cleansing and clearing and bringing in new and refreshing that energy system
Mhm.
that we are. And so it frees us up to express ourselves vocally, in writing, in our artwork, in our music, whatever your creative vehicle is.
Mhm.
Um, it's essential to
Yeah.
keep that moving. Whether it's this practice or you have another practice of that, or that it is something we all need to tend
Yeah.
to for sure.
Mm. Beautiful. I love it. Well, and I would love to hear, we still got people that are watching us live. So if you have any questions for Phoebe about the Soul Biz book or anything that we've talked about today, please drop them in the comments. If you're watching the replay, please drop those questions in the comment section, and we'll come back and, just tag us, and we'll come back and get those questions answered for you.
Absolutely.
This has been so incredible, Phoebe.
Oh.
Not just to be able to speak with you, because that's wonderful, but all the beautiful, wonderful things you have going on and the work that you are doing in this world to just lift it up,
Thank
one
you.
person
Just
at a
showing
time.
up. Just showing up,
Showing up,
doing the thing.
doing the thing. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
So yes, check out Phoebe's newest book, Soul Biz: Practical Tips and Heartfelt Wisdom for Entrepreneurs, Solopreneurs, and Creative Souls. I know that's all of you here in the Rebel Writers community.
I can't believe I didn't bring
And
a copy of it to show you. I have a
oh,
hard copy. I was like,
oh yeah. Let's
it's
just
on
take
my
a picture. You
nightstand.
can post that picture. You can
If
post
you
that
click the
picture.
link, you'll see the pretty butterfly and stones. It's a
There
really
you
beautiful cover.
It is. It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. And yeah, butterflies, right? The
Yeah.
transformation that we are
Yeah,
all
it is
doing.
definitely a transformational book. Um,
Yeah.
Sweet stories, short and sweet. They're all story based. Um, some incredible stories. I'm just getting into the book myself, and
Hmm.
I got to meet a few of the other authors, and their stories are inspiring as well. So it's worth
So
it.
great. Totally worth it. All right, go
Totally
check
worth
out Phoebe's book. We will be back at some point soon with another Rebel Writer in action. In the meantime, we are hosting the new Rebel Writers Writing Room. So if you're having trouble getting your butt in your seat to write, join us Thursday. That's 11:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 Pacific, and we have an open Zoom room. Um, for everybody to come and write. Oh, yes. Hi, Diane. Diane says, congratulations, Phoebe.
Thank
So many
you.
amazing writers in this group. I just love you all. And thank you so much, Phoebe. Best of luck to you and the sale of Soul Biz. And I can't wait to see your next book.
Can't wait to be back. Thank you,
All right.
Renee. Thank you so much for your attention on me today and sharing me with your group. I'm honored to
Thank
be
you.
here.
It's been such a joy. All right, Rebel Writers. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Take care.
Bye.